Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of What's in the Cup. Okay, it is Monday, 9 a.m. What is the date here? September 25th. I have been wanting to do this for so long. I love coffee so much that I actually opened a cafe in New York. It was a dream of mine from when I was like a teenager to have my own cafe, and that happened in New York City. It was called Pedal Bell, and it was on Sullivan Street, and it was like a few blocks from NYU, so it had a lot of great energy right off of West Houston Street. I made a lot of great friends, and I met a lot of great people in that area. So what's in the cup today? So I really thought about having a really staple that was part of Pedal Bell. But then I thought about what really made me love coffee, and what was really the thread of it, and has always been something that is very comforting to me and special to me, was my grandmother's coffee. I used to love watching my grandmother make coffee, and I inherited her coffee pot because I loved it so much. So I have a Corningware, and I'm sure if you have a thrift store near you, you can have a Corningware too, because these are like all over the place now. So for me, especially on a day like today, I mean, just look at it out there. This is the tail end of Ophelia. I can't get the song out of my head. I've been humming it for days. I mean, my outside is just like turned upside down from the wind and the rain. And it's just a Monday. Like, it's like, oh, Monday and rain. And it's just, isn't there a song, Rain Days and Mondays always get me down? Yeah, right, the Carpenters. Okay, maybe I'll play that in the background. Future me will discuss that with herself. So my grandmother made coffee in this Corningware. Just tip this down. And what you do is, there should be a marker inside the pot. This is years of coffee in here, and being that this is porcelain, it has stained the inside. Now, my grandmother was using this from the 40s, so this is in pretty good shape. So there's a marker in here. I don't know if you can see the lines. I have fresh, cold, filtered water in here, and I'm going to fill it up to 6. And then I'm going to get the basket for the coffee. So being that I have 6 cups of water in there, I'll turn this on. Wrong one. Get that going. I'm going to be putting my coffee inside the basket. And what I got here was something that I picked up at Aldi's. Apple crisp flavored coffee. Okay? I'm giving everybody a break from the pumpkin spice. So let me get a scissor here. Open this up. My grandmother, every day when she came home from work, would put a pot of coffee on. She had her own dry cleaning business. Not too appley, and not too appley. Has a nice ground coffee smell to it. Very nice. So my grandmother, when she came home from work every day, she had a 9-inch pan, and she would get together her ingredients that she knew by heart: flour, butter, egg, and sugar, milk, and she would make a cake, and then she would get her pineapple rings and her maraschino cherries, and that's the first thing she did when she came in from work. She had a dry cleaning business, and she would get the cake started, and she would get the coffee started, because they would have coffee and cake after. Well, not get it started, she would get it set up, and I used to watch this. And her little cake, she'd cut in 4 squares, one for her and my grandfather. And my aunt, her sister, and my uncle would come over after they had their dinner for coffee. So there would be 4 slices of pineapple upside down cake along with her coffee every evening. But she made her coffee like this in the morning. I remember I used to have to go to my grandmother's house every Saturday and help her with chores, vacuuming, cleaning, and so every time I take out her coffee pot, there's just a flood of memories that come back also with this. This really smells good. So what you do here, and I have my grandmother's measuring spoons. Yeah, these are from the 40s, maybe even earlier. So for each cup of water, I'm going to put a level, not a heaping, a level tablespoon of coffee. And get your coffee, you don't want fine ground coffee. You want coffee that's a little bit coarser because this is a perk coffee. Fine ground is espresso. So there's one. I'm sure you want to see me do this, not watch me do it. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, my grandmother always kept her coffee tightly sealed, and even inside of a canister. Some people keep their coffee in the refrigerator, but it's a cool month, and I don't think that that's necessary. Put this over here. Give it a shimmy shake. My grandmother would also put a pinch of salt inside the basket, and that was because for her time the water was kind of hard, maybe unfiltered, but I used cool filtered water. And then you put your lid on, and then you drop your basket in. This is going to heat up pretty quickly. So I know that this is a luxury. I'm home this morning. I'm going to put the lid on here. Let me just give this a little wipe off. I got my hands all over it. And so then you get your lid, right? This is where your coffee's going to perk. It's going to hit the top. Place it on. Make sure it's secure. Make sure that basket is secure too. You don't want the water coming up and the lid coming loose and then all your coffee grinds all over the place. And so I'm going to just lower that. When this starts to perk, I'm going to give it about a good 5 minutes. Most of the time, with practically everything that I make, whether it's, making a lasagna or making a pot of coffee, I go by smell. So as soon as I start to smell that coffee perking, you'll hear it, trust me. But you'll get the aroma right away. It's like I'm going to give it 5 minutes to perk. That being said, being that this is such a simple cup of coffee that we're having this morning, and I know that I certainly didn't serve perked coffee in my cafe, but I did in one of my restaurants. I did. I had beautiful coffee, stainless steel coffee pots, and when you ordered a pot of coffee, if you ordered coffee for your table, you got a perked cup of coffee. I didn't do anything like drip coffee. So in an age where we have our Keurigs and we have our drip coffee makers, your Mr. Coffee, this to me was just always something special to have perked coffee. The aroma just fills the house, and perked coffee is always hotter, and it just has a different flavor to it, a different robust. It's kind of like you get the most out of the coffee. Like you could take this same coffee and put it in your Mr. Coffee and have it drip through with water. It's not going to be the same. You probably could even, maybe judging by the texture, do a little pour over. You could in a pinch. So this is saying for automatic drip coffee maker, add 2 rounded tablespoons of ground coffee for 6 ounces of water. I can't even imagine. 6 ounces of water, I've taken the cup out, is this cup here. That's about 6 ounces of coffee. So there would be 2 rounded tablespoons in here. I only used 1 level tablespoon for a perked coffee because the coffee is stronger. You don't need to use that much coffee. So that's another reason why perked coffee is such a nice treat. You know, you're not using that much coffee and you're getting so much flavor out of the coffee that you don't get from a drip coffee maker. So really getting down to basics. I mean, the other thing that my grandmother used was Nescafe, and it is in my house recently because I learned how to make Dalgona coffee, which I'll make for you one day this week. It'll be another What's in the Cup. Dalgona coffee is made with 2 teaspoons of instant coffee. So being that I bought this just to make Dalgona coffee, one day I just wanted a cup of coffee. I didn't feel like pulling out the pot. I didn't want to, do an espresso because I have an espresso machine. I was like, you know what? Let me give this a whirl. Let me see here. I think it's a teaspoon, 6 ounces of water. It was really good. So, I mean, when you think that this has 100 cups of coffee in it, or you could do your drip coffee maker, I really think that this is outstanding. This was good. This is really good, okay? This is like, in the world of coffee, it's in the top 5, I think. And so then I tried all these instant coffee, and in this one, there is 120 6-ounce cups of coffee. And you can tell I've been using it. It's good. I'm a coffee drinker. I've had every kind of coffee prepared for me. I've tried every kind of coffee, every kind of espresso, latte, cappuccino, macchiato. I've had them all. So here we go. We're getting a perk going. There you go. The coffee is perking. We will have coffee in about 5 minutes. And then the other thing that I found while I was shopping around my local Home Goods was this 1936 coffee. My gas range is like the Wild West. It's kind of like a cookout. I'm still not used to it yet. It's like you need very little flame for this thing to just take off. Okay, look at that. Let's set the timer. Timer. Okay, so I got this in Home Goods. Torrefacto pumpkin spice, 1936. I think it's been around that long. Yep, tradition forever. It's a product of Mexico. Again, 6 fluid ounces, one teaspoon. Now, to me, it has just a freeze-dried coffee smell. But pumpkin really doesn't have a smell or a flavor. You gotta zhuzh pumpkin up. It's a squash, You gotta do something with it. And that's where I got distracted. My grandmother would put a pinch of salt because of the water. She would always put a pinch of salt in her coffee grinds. My dad would love to put a pinch of cinnamon anytime he would make drip coffee. So he had a Mr. Coffee. So he would sprinkle cinnamon on top. Now, being that this was an apple crisp, I'm going to try this without the cinnamon, but for me, I do that all the time. I sprinkle a little cinnamon in the basket. I have everything moved around in this kitchen these days. We are under construction in here, so yeah, we're under construction in here. So things are a little hairy. We're surviving though. I think I have my spices. I think I moved them out of the way completely. One second. Yep, I did. Oh, you're there. Do I love my grandmother or what? This is actually this is her bake pan. This she would make a pound cake in, and she made something also called a 7-Up cake. I mean, I don't know. I think what's in the cup needs to have some cake with it too, so maybe we'll see. So I actually have pumpkin pie spice. That might be good in your coffee. And ground cinnamon. McCormick's makes the best spices. So full body, a lot of flavor. Let me put this here. So, you know, I drink my coffee black. So, you know, if you're a coffee drinker, that doesn't bother you. Black coffee, you're just like, I'm all about the coffee. But you could always zhuzh it up. You could always put a little something in your coffee, and like something like a little sprinkle of cinnamon or pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice has cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, allspice. I don't know about the ginger in the coffee, so I think I'm just going to stay with the cinnamon. Let's put these back because this is getting nuts here. And show you something else that my grandmother used to do. And here's our little apple spice. I have, while we're waiting for that to get done. Well, it's like another couple minutes. This is not anything traditional. This didn't belong to anyone. I'm between houses right now. It's another thing that's going on. So I am going to tell you, while you're out looking for your perked coffee pot, and even if you're in the thrift store, get yourself a porcelain cup. This is fine china. Everything tastes better in a porcelain cup. Everything. Get yourself a porcelain cup. This is a saucer. It matched very nicely. This is from my own collection. This is something that I used in Petalbell. So it's a baby blue. I pick up antique spoons anywhere that I can find them. This is how I served coffee in my own cafe. I used Daruda coffeeware, and I had stainless steel, not stainless steel, I had silver pitchers, and I had them filled with spoons. I know, I'm crazy, but I'm all about the experience and you really enjoying the experience of having a nice cup of coffee and a beautiful cup made with love. That's what my grandmother used to say, made with love. And I just love that I have all my grandmother's things, her little her little measuring spoons. Woo, we got 23 seconds. Let me get this. This is up next. Here we go. Coffee strainer. Now, put it right over your cup. There we go. Timer. Time. Oh, it's a beautiful caramel color. I'm gonna let that settle 1 second. And for those of you that like cream and sugar in your coffee, today I'm feeling, I don't know, I usually drink my coffee black, and I'm certainly going to taste this black, but I can go for a little half and half this morning. So we got that out. So let that settle down. You'll see, it's still perking a little bit. Gonna let that settle. Boom, 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 boom. I never have sugar in the house, but I think I have a few packets in here. It's so crazy, me. We had a party and I had a box of Joe, so they give you a bunch of sugar. I was like, oh, let me just put these inside, on the side in case of an emergency. And here you go. Almost done. Now this is a weapon, and I kid you not. I mean, this coffee is scalding hot, very hot. It was just made in a porcelain coffee pot. Please be careful. So, just in case, I have my coffee strainer here. Oh, look at that color. Oh, look at that steam. Holy cow. And take this off the burner. There is no coffee grinds in there. A few, not much, but had your lid popped up, you'd have coffee grinds all over, and you don't want to pour them into your cup. So let's see what this is like here. Oh. It is so hot. Let me try this again. It's very good, but it's so hot. Oh yeah. It's got that apple flavor, like a Rome apple. It's not like a Macintosh or a green apple. Oh, it's really nice, but it's not sweet. So I'm glad I took out the half and half. I mean, I could drink this black, but I don't know. I'm feeling it today. I'm feeling half and half today. Oh, look at that. I think because it's so hot, I want to cool it down a little bit. Oh my God. And I think the sweetness of that apple, or the brightness of the apple, I should say, it's not sweet, but it will be sweet in a second with a little bit of sugar. And I am going to do my dad's trick of sprinkling a little cinnamon on top. Now I can't wait. It's a whole experience. It's just taking care of yourself so simply. Make yourself a nice cup of coffee. Go sit down, my grandmother would say. Get off your feet. Beautiful spoon, a beautiful cup. You know what else I'm going to make? I'm going to make myself. I went to Aldi's and I got a nice thick white bread, and then I'm going to toast with apple jam from Stonewall. Apple cider jam. Oh my God. Yeah. I feel like I'm walking through an orchard. An apple orchard. Orchard? An orchid. I need coffee. It's Monday. Oh my God. You know, I'll drink that whole pot. I wish you were here. I'd make you some. We'd be sitting down chatting. We wouldn't be doing diamond art. We'd be sitting down enjoying our coffee. Sit down, my grandmother would say. Rest your eyes. Oh my God. I'm gonna go make my toast. And I'll take a picture. But I'm so happy that this is my first what's in the cup. Thank you, Graham. Getting a little teary-eyed. For teaching me how to make coffee. And my dad's trick, cinnamon. Okay, everybody. After I'm done this, I'll see you at the diamond painting.